All right, so we've got to talk about this whole Tulsi Gabbard situation.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people are kind of like scratching their heads
Heck of it.
about how she ended up as the director of national intelligence. I mean, she's got this background, right? Congresswoman,
Right.
presidential candidate, military service, and now suddenly
Right.
she's the head honcho of the entire intelligence community.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, it's not the usual path.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to unpack here. What do you think?
Well, the thing that really jumps out is that she got a lot of pushback, even from her own party, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mitch McConnell,
Yeah.
he's not exactly a lightweight in the Senate.
No.
He came out and very publicly opposed her nomination.
He did.
Saying that it was an unnecessary risk.
Wow.
And for someone like McConnell to take such a hard line against a member of his own party, that's...
A presidential appointee from his own party.
It's a big deal.
That's a really big deal. That's a huge red flag. Yeah, McConnell doesn't just throw around phrases like unnecessary risk for no reason.
Exactly.
So what specifically was he so concerned about?
Well, the sources we're looking at point to a few things. First, you've got her past support for Edward Snowden.
Right.
Now, she did say that she acknowledges that he broke the law.
Right.
But she defended his actions, at least in part. And, we're talking about somebody who leaked a ton of highly classified info. That's got to make you wonder if she'd be willing to be more lenient, let's say, with intelligence.
Yeah. Would she be as strict about protecting secrets? Would she be as concerned about leaks?
Exactly.
Makes you wonder, okay, so Snowden was definitely a sticking point.
Right.
But it sounds like that wasn't the only thing that McConnell was worried about.
No, not at all.
What else was raising red flags?
Well, her meeting with Syrian President Assad back in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
That raised some serious eyebrows, too. I mean, this was during the Syrian civil war.
Right in the thick of it.
Absolutely, with allegations of chemical weapons being used against civilians and everything.
Horrible situation.
So, yeah, the optics of that meeting were not good.
No.
It raised a lot of questions about her judgment and how it might affect our relationships with allies.
Absolutely. Are we sending mixed messages here? Can we trust her on the world stage?
Yeah, big concerns.
Okay, and then there's the elephant in the room, right? We have to talk about Ukraine.
Of course.
I mean, her stance on the whole situation there definitely caused a lot of friction.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, her views often seem to line up pretty closely with Russian narratives.
Yeah.
Which is a tough spot to be in.
Especially now.
Especially now, exactly. And then you throw in her opposition to Section 702 surveillance.
Right.
Which, again, super controversial.
Very.
But it's a powerful tool that lets intelligence agencies monitor communications of suspected terrorists abroad.
So it's all about balancing security and privacy, right?
Exactly.
And where you draw that line is really tricky.
Yeah, so her stance on that became a huge point of contention.
It sounds like McConnell had a pretty solid case against her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of baggage.
It really is.
But here's the crazy thing. She still got it confirmed?
She did.
How on earth did she manage to pull that off?
That's the million-dollar question. What's interesting is that during those hearings, she kept bringing things back to the core functions of the DNI, managing the intelligence operations and advising the president.
Right, she really hammered that home.
Yeah, and it looks like she was able to convince enough Republican senators that she understood those responsibilities.
I see.
Even if they were hesitant about some of her past positions.
So was it a calculated move? Do you think she was trying to neutralize those concerns by just saying, look, forget about all that other stuff. I'm here to do this job, and I'm going to do it by the book?
It's definitely possible, right? And I think it's important to understand just how crucial those core functions are. I mean, we're talking about coordinating the entire intelligence community.
The whole thing.
From the CIA to the NSA, making sure the president has the best, most accurate information to make those really, really
huge high-stakes decisions.
The decisions that affect all of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's mind-blowing to think that someone with such a, let's say, unconventional background is now in this unbelievably powerful position.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what's going to happen next.
It really does. I mean, it raises a huge question.
Yeah.
How is her past going to affect her decisions as DNI? Could this change how we gather intelligence?
How we analyze it.
Exactly. Does this shift the balance of power?
In the intelligence community.
Or even on the global stage?
That's a big one.
It is.
Wow. This is big. It feels like this appointment just threw a wild card into the whole system.
It really does.
And we have no idea what's going to happen.
No clue.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is someone who's never been afraid to shake things up.
No, she hasn't. Whether you agree with her or not, She's always been willing to challenge the status quo. And I think it's safe to say she's going to bring that same attitude to the DNI.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And how's that going to affect the intelligence community? How are foreign leaders going to react?
Yeah, what does this mean for our relationships with allies? I mean,
Exactly.
it's a whole new ball game now.
It really is. This is going to be fascinating to watch.
Absolutely fascinating.
Yep.
All right, folks, buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with more.
See ya.
Bye.